welcome back to, I don't know what episode this is, episode 9 maybe?
I think. Yeah.
Cool, we've been at this for a long time. Thank you for being here if you have joined us again. Today's just going to be a chatty episode, I think. Like, Aimee's not feeling the best. We've done quite a few like lengthy, full-on episodes. I feel like we're just going to catch up. We always do this on... Sorry, that was my mic. We always do this on FaceTime anyway, so we thought we'd just bring you guys in. We'll have a little chat on like what's changed in the UGC community, what's going on, and yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do I sound groggy? I feel like I sound okay.
You sound better today. You sounded groggy over the weekend.
I just feel very cold and fluey.
She's
and anyone who knows me knows that I like to really milk it. No, I do actually feel pretty crap, but I'm okay. But what really tipped me over the edge was I said to Aimee just before we started recording, I'm just going to make myself an iced coffee, like just give myself some energy. And it turns out I'm out of milk. And that was the final straw, the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just can't be bothered to, like, it's cold outside, like I don't want to have to get dressed, I don't have to put a bra on, go to the shop, get milk. Oh.
No.
It's a lot. And I'm not cut out for that this week.
No, you've worked around it. You've got your electrolytes. I just said electrolytes instead of electrolytes instead. So it's all fine. It worked out in the end. She's hydrated. That's all that matters.
Also, but no, sorry. Oh no, it's gonna be like you a few weeks ago. My brain is like mush. I was gonna say I got on the scales this morning and I'm down half a stone. Which obviously is all water weight, where I haven't really been eating. But, skinny!
You say that, but I think you've worked for it as well, because you have been doing really well eating-wise and exercising. So it's probably that too.
Sure, let's go with that. Yeah. No, I think I've lost any muscle that I've ever gained in my life. I'm just a worm at this point.
The most beautiful worm.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Our fourth guest, the worm. Yeah. Did you see my comment on our last podcast episode on YouTube? I put our third unexpected guest. Yeah. The lipstick on my teeth. That's the point, actually.
I was about to say, you just made me really conscious. My lip oil's really pink today, so hopefully there's none on my teeth. But if there is, then I'll just ride with it. I've got a pug hair on my nose, I'm pretty sure of it, because it's really itching me.
I'm also really conscious when we edit this back that there's now going to be a massive close-up of my gnashes on the screen.
No, it's fine. I'm going to leave it in there just so everyone can see the composite.
Make the most of them. Yeah, it's cost me a lot of money.
Yeah. Apart from feeling unwell, how's your week been?
Honestly, it's kind of just like that's been
the week.
Most of my week. Because like Monday I got up, I had PT, I had a really good work day. Tuesday I had a really good work day and I went to spin class, went for a run, and then woke up on Wednesday morning with just a really sore throat and thought, no. So then I quickly filmed all of my like talking heads and all of my voiceovers and stuff, just in case my voice went, because this time last year I lost my voice for like 2 weeks. Don't know if anyone remembers that. There was an ad going round for a little while of me. It was a real superfoods ad. And I was like, I was just really manly in the voiceover. And it was because I still had... I was trying to, but I had deadlines, like, anyway. So I was really, really worried. But luckily, my voice, touch wood, is fine this time.
Good.
And then kind of just went downhill. So have been horizontal. I've been binge watching Love on the Spectrum, which I was telling Aimee about this morning. It is the most wholesome, uplifting, beautiful show. I love it. I've watched all 3 seasons now. And that's 30 episodes, if anyone who wanted me to... It might not be 30, it might be slightly less, but anyway, been binge watching those. And apart from that, a pretty uneventful week just because I felt so crappy. But I feel like we're on the mend now. I feel like this week's going to be better. Unfortunately, the sun is not with us today.
It's meant to be raining all this week. Have you seen that?
Yeah. A couple of days last week when I was feeling better, I went outside and laid on the grass and just fell asleep in the sun. It was really lovely. Bit weird if anyone walked past, but actually on one day I was kind of in that lovely state where you're not asleep, but you're like, resting. You know, when you're kind of aware.
Yeah.
You're kind of like in this meditative state. Yeah. And I suddenly woke up because the landscaper was walking like literally right by me. I was like, it was just so weird. But yes, anyway, a very boring update from me, but yeah, I'm feeling better now. What about you? How has your week been, my love, my life, my little chicken nugget?
I'd actually say the same. I haven't really had too much going on this week. I've been hit by Mother Nature like a ton of bricks. So also spent my weekend completely just rotting on the sofa. But I'm feeling more human today, so that's good. I feel like also, I always say this, like I use any excuse that I just like don't feel well, I'm like, I use it as an excuse to just rot and not feel bad about it. So yeah, I had the same sort of weekend as you. I was just on the sofa. I was binge watching programs, like I was watching, what did I say it was called? Mobland, like so not my kind of show. I was watching it with my boyfriend. I actually really enjoyed it.
Was it good?
Yeah, I mean, it is quite like intense. And it's about like gangsters and stuff, so it's not really my usual type of watch, but it was good.
Yeah, you don't scream gangster to me.
No, what little you know.
Yeah, it's true.
I could be the best gangster out there, and you just don't recognise it.
UGC creator by day.
Yeah.
Mob gang leader by night.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows?
Could be.
Maybe that's my
I've also just realised I'm in my pyjamas and I haven't even acknowledged it.
Yeah, that's fine. You don't need to acknowledge it.
I'm very ill.
Well, I was telling you that I thought this was going to be like a Rachel Green moment. And turns out as soon as I put it on, I don't look like Rachel Green. I just look like I've gone to get the eggs out of my chicken yard, you know?
That you don't own.
That I don't own. But that's okay. So
I think you look cute.
Thank you. It's Farmer Aimee. Farmer by weekend.
I'm not used to so much colour.
I know.
We're so neutral. This is a lot.
I know. Well, you say that actually. Normally I am someone in the summer to wear a lot of colour, but I just haven't bought any new clothes in so long.
Yeah, okay.
That I've just been wearing the same item of clothing. Season in, season out.
Also, I've just realised, if you can hear a drippy tab in the back, I don't think you're going to be able to hear it, but if you can, I'm so sorry. It's been dripping for, oh my God, maybe like a month and a half, 2 months now, and I don't know how to fix it. So I'm waiting for my dad to come down from Norfolk. Come and fix my tap. So I'm really hoping you can't hear it, but it's been dripping for literally 2 months.
Oh.
I don't know what I'm doing.
That's so annoying.
I don't have any tools. Like, what am I supposed to do?
No.
I could if I wanted to.
That's a job for Dad.
Yeah. If he could just shimmy on down from Norfolk, that would be. He is actually coming for Easter, so I think he'll be down here at the weekend. So I'm going to give him a long list of jobs to do in my home.
Love that for you.
Lucky guy.
Let's talk UGC. Let's just have a chat, a chin wag about what's happening in the UGC space, what's changing. Because I feel like maybe it's because I'm full-time now, so I'm paying more attention to it, but I feel like everything is changing quite quickly now. Obviously, it's growing, which is great. Like, in terms of brands, there's so many people using UGC now. There's a lot more creators. And I just feel like things are changing. Like, even the opportunities that are coming up, like, I'm seeing a lot more of affiliate stuff now. I don't know if you are, but I'm
massively
getting so many requests to like do videos in exchange for affiliate links or commission codes or whatever. And also, like, I've seen other creators posting for other creators to sign up as well, because I think you can get fees from that. I don't really know how it works.
Like referral codes and referral links and stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, I haven't really done much of it myself, to be honest with you, because I don't have I've got over 1,000 followers, but I feel like affiliate works more if you're an influencer, because you kind of need that following. But that's just my opinion on it. I don't know if that's actually true.
No, I feel like, I mean, even in the 2 years that we've been doing this, UGC has changed massively. Now I feel like we've kind of turned a bit of a corner where, I was going to say the general public, people just in general are more aware of what UGC is now as a concept. Thanks to people like you and I on social media, like there's so many more of us creators out there now talking about it. People know what it is these days. So that's changing the landscape a lot. On top of that, I feel like a lot more people are starting to get into UGC, which in turn means that brands now have this huge pool of creators versus what they had 2 years ago to select from. And they are holding a little bit more power than maybe they did previously. And so I am starting to see, like you said, a lot more affiliate-based, commission-based work opportunities come through all of which are a big fat no thank you from me. Because as far as I'm concerned, and I've said this before, like the asset itself holds value and is worth something. So bare minimum, you're going to pay me for the creation of that. And then anything on top of that, like if you want to give me commission on top of that, absolute bonus, love that, but it won't be instead of. But I'm seeing loads of that. And I think that because so many new creators are starting to say yes to those opportunities, why would brands A, stop offering them, and B, why would they be paying other people to create content when they could get it for free through these kinds of like schemes?
I've only ever done the LMS, is it Skin Ciders, is that how you say it? Like I've done that one because LMS is like a brand that I would pay money for, so that kind of made sense for me, but I haven't made anything from it commission wise. You just kind of do like these tasks, and I think a lot of them are like that, where you have to do a certain amount of tasks, obviously, that then benefit the brand, to then earn points, to then level up and get more.
It's a really smart move from the brands, because obviously there are so many people out there creating content, wanting to create content, and they're doing it already on TikTok for free. So like, why would you not tap into that pool of creators who can make really beautiful content for you and who want to do it in return for your products? So that it's really smart. It also allows them to really like build up hype. So a lot of the tasks on those platforms, or rather on those programs, are like, you know, let's say it's Halloween, give us your best Halloween look, or show us you melting off your like full face of Halloween makeup using our cleansing balm. It's really smart. You can create a bit of a hype, a bit of a trend, like it's clever. So I'm definitely not saying it's a bad thing for the brands to do. And I'm also not thinking it's a bad thing for creators to do. What I do think is that when you get then a crossover of UGC creators doing it, and also I just want to preface this with, I've done the Skin Ciders thing as well, so I'm not saying it's like wrong, I've done it. You do end up in this weird situation where we're kind of half pushing as a community to up rates and really like shout about the value of what we're creating here, but we're also working for free on these sorts of programs that are making it a kind of slowing fee growth in the industry. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And the one thing I would say though is, like, because I think, like, for example, the Skin Ciders is really easy to access, and I think I've seen so many people sharing it that I now know that it's not authentic content. So it kind of is like, it is good for the brands, obviously, because they get so much content just in exchange for their products and whatever else, but also it kind of it doesn't backfire, but it also, I mean, I guess it depends who the audience is. Like, if I'm seeing all of these different people posting about these products, I'm not necessarily going to believe their products because I know that they can get them from this affiliate thing, if that makes sense.
But that's a bigger point in general, right? Like, UGC is changing in itself. People now spot UGC where they didn't 1 or 2 years ago. So we're having to, as creators, be more and more strategic in our scripting or in our delivery on camera to sound more and more authentic, because people are clocked on and they know when they're being sold to, even more than they ever did. Like, that's a completely different point. But you know, you talk about the space changing over the last few years. That's a massive change.
And I think we should talk about that next, because I do think there's been a huge, like, I think the lines between influencing and UGC creation is kind of being blurred a little bit with things like the affiliate programs, because obviously that's off commission. If you're an influencer, great, you can earn tons from your following, and it's the same content we're providing as same as the influencer is, if that makes sense. So it does kind of blur the line a little bit, I think, because content is like so much more polished. It's so much more like, I mean, it's not always necessarily aesthetic, but it's always got to look a certain way.
Well, I think that's one of the big things I'm seeing is this shift. You know, UGC in its rawest, purest format is, you know, a customer picking up the camera, using the front camera, no filters, like just saying, oh my God, guys, like, look at what this has done for me or whatever. And it's so raw and genuine and authentic that it sells. Then you kind of take that one step further and you have UGC creators whose job is to create that feeling of authenticity and that kind of genuine customer experience on camera. But what I'm seeing more of now is really polished, aesthetic, crisp content, which is beautiful and will do really well for organic content, of course. But I'm seeing it filter into UGC, into ads. And I just think that it's changing everyone's perception, brands, creators, businesses, consumers' perception of what UGC is. And I just think we're starting to go slightly off-piste with it.
Yeah. I do think you're right, because I think some brands do kind of use it. Obviously, we say that UGC can be used in replacement of like professional marketing shoots, and it's more affordable and more effective and things like that. So I think the two are kind of merging in the sense where they're taking their structure from the ad that they probably would have created professionally, like with a model and a filming crew and everything, and they're putting that into their ads that are asking us to create, because they still want that professional look, but also that's not what UGC is.
No. And like the other day I got an inbound from a huge food brand, like, open your cupboard, it's probably in there. And they said to me, oh, this is the budget that we're able to work with. And I said, that's not high enough. And they said, well, we only need you to create low production assets like the attached. And they were basically suggesting that the brief was so simple, the videos were so quick and easy, like minimal editing, like not a lot of work going into them, that would justify the lower price. Number one, no. Number two, no. But anyway, so they tagged these three examples, they linked these three examples beneath. And when I tell you, one of them was a Sam Cornforth sketch. Now, I don't know if you know Sam Cornforth. He's an actor who does skits on TikTok. Really, really good videos. I really like him. The fact that video was ever put in the same paragraph as the words low production baffled me. Like, brands, in some cases, this one clearly, have no idea or cannot appreciate the amount of work that goes into a video of that quality. And it might look really quick and easy and snappy and like you've just put it together. But the reality is that video that was linked probably took a day to film. And it just like baffled me. And I had to go back and be like, just to really clarify, like, that is not a low production asset. Like, that is a hugely complex, I'm talking transitions, like After Effects. There was so much in it. It just completely baffled me. So I really think we need to be careful with, low production to me means picking up a camera, saying a couple of lines and pressing stop. Like, that's low production. It was just wild to me. I think did I send it to you? I can't remember if I sent it to you.
I don't think so. You've told me about it.
Yeah. It was such a complex, I'll send it to you after this. It was such a complex ad he'd done. Really good. And it was just completely baffling to me. I was like, in what universe is that low production? Like, you've just got no idea. And this person worked in marketing. And I'm thinking, I appreciate if you're not a content creator, you might not look at it and be like, oh, there's a transition. Oh, there's a keyframe. Oh, I get that. But I feel like anyone can look at something and think, that's actually probably quite a lot to put together.
Yeah. And on that note as well, like about receiving briefs, I had one recently, and it was like the first thing in the don'ts was like, do not sound like you're reading a script. So I feel like the whole structure of how UGC is going to work going forward is like, the more organic, the better. I think the really scripted ad, this is a game changer, like, that is out the window. Like, if I hear someone else say game changer, I'm scrolling.
It's my biggest ick.
Yeah.
It's my biggest UGC ick. I hate it.
Yeah. So I just think that whole structure is going out the window, that's a big change for me, I think, because that has kind of always been a thing throughout my UGC journey of like following a script and obviously you have to have a hook and things like that to get people hooked, but also like, I think maybe it's more like visual hooks, like picking a phone out of the drawer or talking whilst moving. I think the hook is actually turning more visual.
Yeah.
Applying your lip gloss, like whatever it is that's going to get that person to watch and listen to what you're saying. It doesn't necessarily need to have like a really strong scripted hook to be effective. And I think that's the way that it's going, because I have seen a few creators talking about the fact that like scripted ads are see ya. So that's a big change.
And it's really difficult, isn't it? Because like obviously a hook has a life. So when you see something like, the lip gloss hook that everyone was doing for a while there, where you're just, or the sit down hook, or I'm running so late, get ready with me in 5 minutes, or whatever. Like these were all hooks. Every hook's got like a lifespan.
It's got a shelf life.
100%. But what I find really interesting about this space, and in coming up with hooks particularly, is that you talk about how people's brains and like attention span have changed since the evolution of social media.
Yeah.
And what I think we're going to start to see, and what I think we're already seeing, is like we are constantly trying to shock in some capacity in a hook, whether it's like, whoa, that transition slide movement wasn't expected on my scroll, or whoa, that sound it made me stop, or whatever it might be. But I do think we're going to desensitize ourselves to hooks, to shocks. Like 100%. I think it's so interesting, and I think at some point, like maybe the hook will be that it's not shocking.
Yeah.
Because everything now is so like, whoa, like to get your attention. Maybe the next hook will be like silence. I don't know. It's just such an interesting thought to me. Like we're constantly seeking that shock factor, or that like stop scrolling factor. Yeah. But it gets bigger and bigger, or weirder and weirder. And now when you see someone slapping something on their face or pouring something over their head, it's not even that shocking anymore.
No, I feel like there's only so much you can do to actually like get that shock factor, like you say. And actually saying that, there's like a big trend. I say trend. I think people are just naturally being drawn towards smaller creators now. I don't know if you've seen that on TikTok, but I keep seeing videos come up where it's like, I'm like looking forward to like clicking on my TikTok and seeing what this small creator's done with their like basic day. Like people aren't looking for this like big extravagant day in the life anymore, or like their favourite influencer's most expensive outfit. Like it is kind of simplifying back in that sense. I'm sorry, I've got pug hair on my face. It is simplifying back in that sense that I also agree that I think it's going to do that with hooks as well. And we're going to kind of go in this, maybe we'll go back to hooks eventually, who knows. Once the shock factor's worn off, then we've changed it and then we go back to it. Who knows?
It's like fashion, isn't it? Everything goes around and then comes back around again. Yeah. So I find the whole thing really interesting because the hooks that I was doing 2 years ago, and then this time last year, and then now, like they're all different. They've all changed, and I just find it a really like interesting topic of discussion. Hooks. Yeah. I think what you're talking about. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, even now, I've struggled to come up with new hooks. Like, I even messaged you about a brief and been like, what can I do to get the wow factor on this one? Because I'm running out of juice here.
With the lipstick.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had some good ones in the end, didn't we?
Yeah, we had really good ones.
Yeah. I can't remember what they were, but I remember talking about them. I was in TK Maxx with my headphones in. That's when I bought my notebook.
Yeah.
From last episode.
Yeah, it is.
But this is when you talk about their like smaller creators, relatability, bringing it back to more like realistic, relatable content. I think that's where my kind of, I was going to say frustration, but that's really not the right word. My kind of discomfort with the whole aesthetic UGC thing comes in because I just know it's not relatable. And don't get me wrong, my content that I create, it is aesthetic. I'm by no means saying I'm doing it right over here. Look how ugly my content is. That's not it at all. Like I try and make it aesthetic, but when you look at this really overly polished, curated setups, it within a UGC ad, not an organic piece, within a UGC ad, very different. That just really, to me, doesn't sit right because I'm trying to create a more authentic feeling experience. Albeit I'm never, taking the bins out in my content. There's a level of glamour to it, I guess. It just doesn't quite sit right with me. Yeah. It's just a difficult. I just think the space is really changing, and I don't know which way it's going to go. I guess it's up to the consumers what goes, because ultimately it's steered by what's getting them to click and to purchase and to stop scrolling and to watch and to engage. Like will be led by consumers, but I just find it such an interesting topic.
Yeah, it's going to be forever changing as well. I feel like we could talk about it for forever and ever. And it will always
You're right, this time next year it will be something completely different that we haven't even thought of.
Yeah. I have always been like more of an organic content kind of gal, purely because I'm not a big fan of like the really scripted stuff. Like I think I've always said this to you. Like I'll have a script, but I try to make it as like organic as possible. So the fact it's going this way, I'm kind of glad about, because that's the kind of content I stop on, and that's what I put out. So I'm
the exact opposite.
What you prefer, like, ad?
No, brands come to me for ads.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not someone who people come to for organic. Don't get me wrong, I do it a little bit, but people come to me for ads.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like I'm really proud of what I create, and I know that I've created some like really successful assets. So I think that, and then people find me through them. But yeah, people come to me for ads. They don't come to me for organic. And I can do pretty content, but it's just like, I love the challenge of scripting something and delivering it in a way that doesn't feel scripted. And I keep saying, don't get me wrong today, I don't know why. I definitely don't nail it every time, and it's really difficult to do. Like, we all know how difficult it is to read a script and sound like you're just saying it off the cuff. It's not going to happen. But I just love that challenge. And I don't know, I love making ads. I really love making ads.
Right at the beginning of my journey, I was always so like aesthetic, and like I think like I've said in the past, like I'm a perfectionist, and I've always wanted it to look like perfect and pretty and like just nice to look at. And so I've really made like a conscious effort over like the last year to just really put the different style of content out, like, because you do show more personality in ads. Like, you can have more fun with it. Like, you can really get creative with ads, like with the hooks and transitions and things like that, whereas organic is obviously a lot less production. Well, it's not actually saying that, because it could be staged and whatever, but yeah, you can just be a lot more creative, I think, with ad content. So I do like it in that aspect, and I've definitely been focusing more on it, because now that I do have the freedom and the time, I do have that time to be creative as well. So yeah.
The thing is as well, like, you're so good at that aesthetic content. Like, you're so good at it. And so naturally, like, naturally brands will see you creating that content and either say, we'll come to you for more of that. Yeah. Or they'll say, oh, that's not really what we're going for. We want it a little bit less aesthetic. And they might not go to you as their, like, you might not be their first choice creator. Yeah. So I think that's another difficulty, is that when, like with me, most of my stuff is ads, is the reason that I get less requests for organic, because I'm not really, like, you don't really get the opportunity for me to showcase that. Maybe brands haven't seen what I'm able to do with that, because it's not what I'm being paid to do most days of the week. And same with you, maybe. And I think that's why it's so important that as creators we showcase lots of different types of content on our portfolios and on our socials, because it's so easy to be pigeonholed. Like, it's just human nature to want to categorize people and to want to categorize everything. And it's just important that we kind of keep our I mean, obviously some people want to niche down, but for me it's important that I don't, because there's so many different types of content I love to create, and I want the opportunity to do a bit of all of it. Yeah,
no, I definitely agree. And I think since I have opened up my content pool, like, different opportunities have come in. So yeah, it definitely goes to show, like, you can, obviously at the beginning I was just creating like more organic and aesthetic, and that was what I was then receiving, and then I get a request for an ad, so I put that out, and then you get that, and so on and so on and so on. So,
like, so often I'll get someone say, I found or I saw your ad with whatever brand. Like, that's how I found you. Like, that's how they, and if it's whitelisted and therefore they can see my name, they can then get straight through to my profiles and get straight through to me, which is obviously such a handy, like, tool to have. But what it does mean is that you're then attracting a certain type of client, which is great. And I love those clients and I work with them still. But you will also be not attracting the brands that want something a little bit different. So yeah, just so important to have a real mix, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Unless you're trying to niche down, in which case flood your page with exactly the vibe that you just basically you attract what you put out,
I was literally about to say that. Whatever you're putting out is what you're going to get in, so...
Yeah. So let's put out positive vibes.
Yeah, we're manifesting.
Am I right?
Yeah.
We're manifesting.
Absolutely.
Classic us to bring it back to manifesting.
Yeah, always. My mum went to me the other day, she went, she entered a competition, and she was like, oh, I'm doing that thing, what do you call it? Like, I'm wishing for it. I was like, manifesting. She was like, I'm manifesting.
Oh. My mum said to me the other day, Ames, how do I put a video on TikTok? I was like, so I just FaceTimed her immediately and was like, what are you doing? And she was like, oh, I just wanted to put something on TikTok. I said, okay, have you edited something? She said, no, just wanted to put some bits of my kitchen on there. They've had their kitchen redone. Okay, We can talk about that. Why do you want to put it on TikTok? Well, just so I have it. Okay, and then basically it boiled down to, oh no, I don't want anyone else to see it. Okay, maybe don't post on TikTok then. That's more like just a camera roll, really. If you don't want other people to see it, you could put it as private. I just don't know why you would. You know. Bless her. She just wanted to put some like videos that she'd taken of her.
That's really sweet.
She's so precious, honestly. So cute. Can you just imagine that text coming through in the morning?
Yeah.
How do I post a video on TikTok?
Oh God, why?
Get ready with me.
No, don't, because I can imagine your mum with her little,
bless her.
like old school YouTube, like holding up the product.
Oh, do you know what? My mum, I really want my mum to get into UGC because she has the most incredible skin.
She is beautiful.
Like, she is beautiful, but she has the most incredible skin you have ever seen. And actually, so does my nana, and my nana's in her 80s. I'm not joking when I say they don't have wrinkles. Like, they have the plumpest, most hydrated skin. Like, I am praying that I end up with the same skin as them. But they don't even try. Like, they haven't invested in skincare from a young age. They don't use expensive products. It's not like that. And I just think my mum would mop up in the world of like 50 plus skincare UGC. Yeah. I just think she would do so well from it.
I think that can be it for this week, to be fair, because I think we're going to try and keep it short and sweet because we've spoken so much in the other episodes and we could talk for hours and hours and hours and hours.
And also I want to
really
go back to bed.
Yeah, Amy's flagging.
I just want to get back to bed. I just want to watch some Netflix and go back to bed and cry.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. You can do that. Let's wrap it up here. Thank you so much for watching again. Can't believe we're on episode 9. It's literally crazy.
I know. Oh, we should probably shout out at this point that next episode 10, is going to be the final episode in season 1. We started this podcast with so much optimism and positivity and naivety, and it turns out that making a podcast is so much more difficult and so much more work than we ever thought. But we are loving it. So we will be back for a season 2, but we're going to take a little break. We've decided to stop after 10 episodes, regroup, do some planning, and come back bigger and better than ever. We're going to level up. But oh my goodness, did we underestimate the work that would go into creating a podcast like this.
Yeah, that and just like logistics, like we're really far away from each other, like it's literally like 3 hours drive, so getting the content to each other and stuff, it's just been harder than we thought it would be. But we are gonna, after episode 10, we're gonna regroup, we're gonna have a plan in place, like it's gonna be so much like more organized and just better, although I think this season's been great, but we're definitely gonna have a plan.
Sorry. I can't go.
That was such like a.
I know, that's what I was doing. I can't go out. I'm sick. We also both made a point of saying at various points along these previous 9 episodes that we wanted to do things imperfectly instead of letting our perfectionism hold us back. And I feel like this podcast has been an absolute embodiment of just that. Yeah. It hasn't been perfect. It hasn't always gone up on time. The quality of the visuals hasn't always been great because we've having to send files across and it's been a bit mad. Like various, the lighting's not the same on every episode. But we're doing it, and I know that there are people every week who listen to this podcast and love it and send us messages, and like we're voice noting back and forth, and like I know there are people out there who are enjoying what we're doing and benefiting from it, and we're just loving doing it. So we will absolutely be back. And next week will be our final episode of season 1. So make sure you tune in for that. And then there'll be a little bit of a pause whilst we game plan.
Whilst we recharge.
Reset and re-inspire.
That's what I was looking for. Yeah, what we said last week. Reset and re-inspire.
Amen.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, to be honest. I'm actually excited to record season 2, and we haven't even finished season 1 yet. So
yeah, that's a good sign, I think.
Yeah. And we are going to have some guests on season 2, which is very exciting, and it's not going to be the spider on my wall. It's not going to be the spot on my face. It's going to be actual real life guests with knowledge, experience. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be really good. But yeah, that's it from us today.
We'll be back. Sorry.
This is a sign we just need to.
Yeah, I need to go to bed. Yeah, literally, right. We will... No, stop. Right, everyone breathe. Okay. We'll be back for one final time next week. We hope you will join us. Have a gorgeous rest of your week. We will see you very soon. Love you, bye.